Hey Hawkins contracting team. For the few of you that don't know me, my name's Matt Hawkins. I just wanted to give you a video update for March of 2023. We've been fighting through some strange winter weather this winter. No frost in the ground, mild temperatures, lots of mud, some pretty sizable snow events when it snowed. But the crews that have been working in the winter have done a great job of pushing through that. Scott and Chris and their crews have been working on the Mississauga off-road trail project. They're building a retaining wall there, a pretty big sienna stone retaining wall. There's railings to do, fencing to do, switchback pathway once the retaining wall is done. The winters made this project challenging. The soil conditions there were pretty lousy. The wet, mucky winter hasn't helped with that, but Jim, Scott, Chris, and their crew came up with some good solutions for dealing with the groundwater issues and the subgrade issues, and we're able to get some drainage installed and a good granular base installed to build the wall on, and they're off to the races. Jan and his crew have been working at the Seton Transformer Station, building this storm pond and finishing the site servicing this winter. The weather hasn't cooperated all that much with us on this job either. Cold conditions with frost on the ground would have made things easier, but the crew's been fighting through the mud and pumping lots of water and dealing with the muddy conditions out there to get it done. The site servicing is pretty much all done. The pond is almost done. The water main connection is happening next Tuesday, and then we're pulling off site for another crew to go back in April or May to finish the landscaping work. Max and his crew have been working at Branksome Hall in Toronto. It's a private school that we're building an outdoor classroom. The weather hasn't impacted us too much there. It's actually been kind of nice that there's not frost in the ground because we've been installing helical pile foundations. But that job has also had some of its own challenges. Extra depth required for all of the helical pile foundations, super tight access, pretty much zero staging area for anything, and not the easiest client to coordinate stuff with, but Max and Lino have been doing a great job of dealing with that. Jan's starting up a job in Toronto at the Humber water treatment plant. This is kind of a strange job. There's a flood wall that goes around one side of the Humber treatment plant to protect the sewage treatment plant from flooding if the Humber River floods. Because if the sewage treatment plant were to flood, it would wash all the sewage into Lake Ontario, which wouldn't be good. So they have this flood wall around the one side that was built years and years ago that is filled with some sort of gravel that they're not really sure what it is, but it's not draining properly anymore. So this project is to excavate all of that old gravel out and install new gravel. It doesn't sound too difficult, but this flood wall is about 4 meters tall, 3 meters wide. There's steel cross members all over the place, and we have to get up on top of this flood wall with an 8-ton excavator and dig out all this material around the cross members and the H-beams and concrete panels and stuff like that, and then replace all that gravel with new gravel that's going to drain better. Brad's going to be starting a new job on March 20th at the Granite Club in Toronto. Granite Club is a swanky, athletic, and social club in Toronto. Nick bid this job about 2 weeks ago, and we just found out last week that it was being awarded to us. It's a tight schedule, tight access, picky client, but that's kind of our specialty, so I think that's going to go well. We've got to build an armor stone retaining wall, a couple of flights of concrete cast-in-place stairs, replace an artificial turf area, some concrete curbs, concrete sidewalks, and then some modifications to an existing playground to make it meet the safety standards. Chris and his crew are going to be starting on an interesting job in Vaughan. It's a boardwalk that goes underneath a GO train overpass. We've already started the process of getting all the GO Transit permits, and we're going to be building a ready rock retaining wall and then installing helical piles and installing this boardwalk. It's going to be a interesting technical job. Should be a fun one. Josh is going to be starting a project in Guelph in April. It's an earthworks project, building a driveway into a developer's house. This developer is building a new home for himself on a pretty big piece of land, and there's a long driveway that currently is pretty hilly that we need to do some earthworks to take some of the hills out of it. So there's lots of topsoil strip, lots of cut and fill to do, and topsoil put back, and then some tree planting and terrace seeding and sodding. That should be a good job for us. Also just wanted to talk about a few of the new additions to Hawkins Contracting. Alexandra, she's a project administrator. She started with us about a month ago. She came from a career in nursing, but more recently, she has had some project administration and project management jobs. She's from Stouffville and grew up in a construction family. Steve is mine and Nick's uncle. Steve worked at my dad's old company, Rutherford Contracting, and he retired a couple of years ago, but we've pulled him out of retirement to help with our accounting department, and he's been doing a great job of getting things back in order. Darren used to work with us about 10 years ago. Since then, he's had his own landscape company and also worked for one of the municipalities, but we're glad to have him back. Mike's going to be joining us as a heavy equipment operator. Mike's got about 25 years of experience. His primary experience is in sewer and water main work. He has worked for a municipality, ran all kinds of different machines, excavators, dozers, gradles, all kinds of stuff like that. Jordan's going to be joining us as a heavy equipment operator and lead hand. He's got about 10 years of experience running heavy equipment. He's worked in the residential landscape industry, dug pools, ran bigger excavators, and done all kinds of different civil landscape work. Joe's joining us as a skilled laborer. He's got 15 years of experience, primarily building pools and residential landscapes, but he's also got equipment with carpentry and concrete work. We're still screening applicants for some more general labor positions as well. That's all I got. Try not to make these videos too long, but just want to keep everybody up to date on what's going on at Hawkins. Have a good day.